90s versus current era is storylines. Which era had the better storyline?
Who has the better storyline? I mean, I think the 90s, just because anybody coming from a 2-year absence from basketball, returning and winning a championship, Hakeem punching it through, Malone and them never getting a wing, rightly so. And now, 25 years later, we're all thankful for that. And then the 1990s, Clyde Drexler. Yeah, I mean, it's probably the 90s, just because, like, I mean, again, no troll, but you're born in 97, but you probably had access to like the His Airness tapes and all that stuff in the 2000s. I mean, that, I don't know, bro. There was something in the air about MJ and them. That whole 90s run was pretty special, personally. That's just me, though. That was my whole childhood growing up, so I probably would say the 90s storyline.
I ain't watched that. I ain't never seen that shit in my life.
Hey, shout out MJ aura. I do think MJ aura is crazy. Probably the craziest aura for an athlete. That's for different reasons. But in terms of storylines, we talking that the 2015 Golden State Warriors, can a jump shooting team win an NBA championship? Can LeBron James carry Matthew Dellavedova, Tristan Thompson to a championship? That's a storyline. We talking 2016, down 3-1, greatest comeback ever, road to the greatest player of all time storyline. Can Kawhi Leonard bring the Toronto Raptors the first championship in another country storyline? We talk, could Steph Curry, is he washed? Are the Warriors done? Win it again storyline. Easy.
There's more storylines than just the
way more, but keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, way more.
Storylines go beyond just the champions.
And
I know,
the storyline,
that's true.
But Jalen, the storyline in the middle of the 1990s was that the first African-born player won an MVP and also won back-to-back titles. So
you know what? I said the racial storyline go crazy. I might give that to the 60s though. That storyline in the 60s go crazy.
Civil rights.
Yeah, civil rights. That storyline go crazy. It's the 60s. But I'm going this era storyline. I think there's so many players, especially player movement. Can James Harden get it done? Can Kevin Durant win without Steph? There's just so many storylines. I think with all the player movement going around too. Give me the storyline in today's era over the
before you go, Swiper, I just want you to this is where we are today. What's today? Today is it's March of 2024. I want you to fast forward the clock. It's October, right? It's October and it's 2024. The Milwaukee Bucks was just in the NBA championship and they lost, by the way, right? They was just in the NBA championship this year and they lost. And it's 2024, and it's a week before the season is about to start. Giannis gets on television. He said he can't play basketball no more. He's got to quit.
Mm-hmm.
Like Magic, you talking about the Magic storyline?
Giannis gets on television and says, I can't play in the NBA anymore because I'm sick and I'm going to die.
That was terrible, yeah.
I can't do that.
That changed everything.
And what I want you to do is I want you to fast forward the clock 2 more years after that. Jokic says, I quit. I don't want to play no more.
Right.
I'm done. I'm out.
He might do that a couple years. Yeah, he might do that. He really might do that.
Jokic quits. He says he's out. The very next year after that, let's see here. Who's the best lead guard in the game? Luka tears his ACL. Luka tears his Achilles, and he's out. Luka's done. He don't want to play no more. The very next year. Then 2 years after that, Hakeem Olajuwon, African-born player, wins the league MVP and the finals MVP in back-to-back seasons. Then the year after that,
Victor Wembanyama.
In the words of Damo, the ball-headed menace decides to come back to basketball. He comes back. Then the year after that, the Chicago Bulls, the best record in NBA history, and win the NBA championship. We don't talk about storylines.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was a terrible time, man.
I'm gonna go with current era for storylines, and I'm gonna go with the simple fact of the impact of social media allowing fans and allowing outside components to dictate, create, and manipulate storylines. We can legit go on social media right now. We can see a story. Literally, we can see Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant talking at the All-Star break, and someone quote tweets it. They talk about teaming up and going somewhere. And then that summer, that actually comes true. And now we have a new storyline to go to. See, back in the 90s, all you could do was rely on the guy that was on the radio, the guys on TV, the talking heads, the sports writers. Those guys dictated what the storylines were. And you was a fan, you just sat there and you talked in the barbershops. Y'all could go up, y'all could come up with whatever you wanted to come up with. But at the end of the day, it's word to mouth, and you're going based off of what they say. Nowadays, we can sit up here, I can call Darvin Ham a terrorist and build a storyline off of it, and everyone else sees what I see. We pick it up, and now it's actually a storyline. How the hell is Darvin Ham actually a terrorist? They're talking about it on SportsCenter the next day, or on First Take, or First Things First, whatever it is. I'm going with today. The fan has the ability to actually impact storylines, create storylines, add on to storylines.
Damo, you and Jalen really convinced me, like, really brought to light a lot of the storylines. and this it damn near is lightweight. But today's storylines are crazy when you really think about all the stuff that's happened. But when I remember, because I don't remember Jay leaving. I don't remember Jay leaving, but I remember Jay coming back. And that was just, you know what I'm saying? Like that. Imagine the best player in the sport really leaving. Like I know now as I got older, I realized why he left. I didn't know he was getting the boot. You know what I'm saying? Until I realized, oh, this dude was a degenerate. You know what I'm saying? So when I start finding that out, that just makes it even more. But I would be completely biased in living through nostalgia if I didn't say today's storyline's clear. It's crazy the way that like how you said, I didn't even think about that, Damo. The impact of social media. You got it. And then COVID shutting down the whole everything, like that was big in the league. And then they making the bubble coming back. That's crazy. And then Lou Will in the strip club, leaving the bubble, going to get wings. Come on,
lemon pepper Lou.
You can't beat this. Hey, this is better than Days of Our Lives in General Hospital put together. I'm gonna tell you.
Let's not talk about Kevin Durant betraying his best friend. And I'm just going by media standpoint, betraying his best friend. They're going to play with the enemy. And then we have the year of now I do what I want. And then Russell Westbrook goes to average a triple-double and gets the fucking MVP.
That's crazy work. Come on.
Yeah, that's crazy work. That's crazy.
Come on. And then Westbrook going to the Lakers, turning into Westbrook. That was love. That was beautiful for the league. Damn. Draymond and Russ getting everybody kicked out the arenas for damn near nothing. This shit is beautiful. I love the storyline. The drama of today is second to none. This is as the world turns in real life.
I don't think you guys understand the impact on that. Like Damo brought up a really good point, but I don't think you guys dig it. And the fact that Jordan retiring in '98 for the second time, and now we're going to get a new champion in the league. And I mean, the impact of social media, don't get me wrong. I feel like the impact of social media really pushed whatever is going on, it pushed it to the forefront. Because all we had back then was SportsCenter and newspapers. Like we didn't have nearly as much as what we have today. And on top of that, we didn't have it like that. Like I had to wait till tomorrow to find out about whatever was going on. Like I can find out right now what's going on with whomever is there. So, I mean, the storylines, I think the storylines were there. I'm going to stick with the 90s though.
Zomo made the point I was going to make with social media. So ultimately, yeah, I am going to go with the last 10 years, social media, free agency, just more player movement. But the OJ car chase being televised during the NBA Finals.
Big moment.
Shut it down, Mars.
That's a big moment.
Shut it down. Like we trying to watch the NBA Finals, and they cut in the middle of the NBA Finals. OJ is on the run.
We ain't have that. We ain't have that in this NBA.
I never knew. Yeah. I never knew that happened like mid-finals. I didn't know.
Damo.
It was like game 4 of the '94 Finals.
We watching the NBA Finals. So this Finals that just
and the NBA Finals is on the small screen.
Yes,
like,
OJ is on the
small NBA Finals. OJ car chase, big screen. That's what it was.
Game 4, Miami was playing. Miami is playing against Denver, and in the middle,
that's one of the most watched televised events ever.
They cut into I don't know who is that guy. Imagine Emmitt Smith is on the run.
That's a pretty big.
Yes, Emmitt Smith is on the run.
I don't know who Emmitt Smith is, but that's a pretty big storyline right now.
We watching the finals this year, and then all of a sudden it just cuts. Antonio Brown is on the run. Like what?
On the run.
Yeah, that would be
Wait a
crazy.
minute.
AP is on the run.
That's carrying the 90s right now. Plus Magic leaving. Then he comes back. He comes back in '96, but he won All-Star Game MVP in '92. Like that was like a big moment. He's there.
Don't forget
MJ
about the
Dream Team too.
Y'all
forget
the
about the Dream
forgot
Team.
about that too. Yeah.
What?
So like all of that, yeah, the 90s had some tough storylines, but overall, I do think social media is what carries the 2010s. Just the ability for anyone to make a storyline and run with it. I don't think the 90s had that ability. So I'll still go with like the last 10 years, but the 90s had some.
So would it be would it be the storyline or just the ability to get the story out?
There's
lot of
more
stuff
stories
going
now.
on.
But there's more stories.
Yeah.
But maybe there's not more stories, but we're
more
aware
known.
of more stories.
Yeah,
That's
more
the
known
point, Mars. It's like it's your ability to get the story out because there was a lot going on back then. I mean, don't forget one of the main reasons why people was talking about Jordan retiring is because his father was killed, even though that wasn't true. But the storyline was we just got from the paper that his father got killed by gangsters. Imagine if we had social media and we had instant access. What the storylines would have been.